Hi guys, we have Baibhav Mishra, All India rank 116 with us. Hi Baibhav, welcome to
Hello.
GK101. Yeah, so first of all, congratulations for getting a rank of 116, a very good rank. And
Thank you so much.
I, yeah, I hope you will be making it to endless very soon. Excited,
Hopefully.
right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Baibhav. You can introduce yourself and yeah.
Hello guys, I am Baibhav Mishra. I am a first year student at NLU Orissa. This year in CLAT 2023, I got AIR 116 and I will be shifting to a new college soon.
Yeah. So, Beba, were you a dropper, a fresher, what? Like,
Uh, for CLAT 2023, I was a dropper in CLAT.
okay. So you were a dropper.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And the second question is that, like, since I have seen there are many droppers, like there are many droppers who are preparing from past 2 years. Like there are people who have dropped particularly 2 years, 1 year, and there are many freshers who are preparing for like 3 years.
Hmm.
So do you
Hmm.
think that taking a drop gives you some advantage? And before that, I wanted to ask, what was your rank before taking a drop in the last CLAT exam?
In the last CLAT, it was AIR 597.
Okay, so didn't you take any college at 597?
I got NLU Orissa. I am a student at NLU Orissa.
Okay, so you are a first year student at NLU Odisha and
Hmm.
you have prepared for CLAT with that. I mean, you have all the academic
Yeah, yeah,
assignments, the
parallel.
mid-sems, parallelly with that's a
Hmm.
commendable job. Seriously, that's a very
Thank you.
commendable job. Good job. Good job. Yeah. So just let me know that was it possible? See, I have seen that it is possible to get into the best NLU while being in a tier 2 NLU. So we all know that it is possible. I want to know from you, how have you made it possible? Okay. So go ahead and please share your story. What all difficulties you faced, what all things you had to manage in your college, and how did you made your dream come true? Okay, go ahead.
Hmm. So I think in any law college, be it any NLU or any private college, the
Hmm.
course structure is not so hectic that you cannot complete the whole syllabus like around 1 or 2 weeks before the exam. So my strategy was I used to devote most of my time to CLAT. I used to attend the classes regularly. I made notes in the classes, but after that, I did not do the assignments or like the prior readings that we were given, but I attended the classes, and after that, I gave most of my time to CLAT. And then I stopped my CLAT preparation for around 2 weeks before my exams ended. Before my exams, I gave my whole time to the exams, and yeah, so 14 days to the exams, and in between, I gave around 10 days for making the project. So I think only I lost around 1 month for college, and the rest of the time I was wholly devoted towards class.
I think Vaibhav,
Okay, okay.
that's a really great job because I in endless also I do multitasking, but honestly, the thing is that attending the classes and making notes, that is also difficult to do it with some other work. So that's a great job.
Hmm.
And my next question will be to a section-wise approach. That how did you make to each and every section? What was the difficulty in a particular section specifically? So if you can just tell me that what was the approach that you followed, so that our viewers also could get
Hmm.
a hang of it. So
Hmm.
yeah.
So actually, I divided the CLAT paper into three chunks. So first, I kept 55 minutes for logical reasoning, GK, and QT. So in the first 55 minutes, what I'm going to do is do logical reasoning, QT, and GK. I kept 5 minutes extra for filling the OMR and filling the attendance sheet and etc. So while I was attempting mocks at home, I used to do it in 115 minutes instead of 120 minutes. And for the next around 60 minutes, I used to divide it between English and legal. So like this was the like my breakup for the whole paper. Now coming to section wise. So let's start from English, I think.
Right.
So I think the most important skill that you need in English is a really good reading speed, especially really important for CLAT 2022 and 23 because the passages have been really lengthy. And like in CLAT 2023 also, I was not able to attempt one passage in English. So I think because of the lengthy passages, right? So I think one thing is like the most important thing is to develop your reading speed. And I think the second thing would be to
One thing I
increase the
would want
diversity
to
of the.
interrupt, Vaibhav. Just I want to know how did you increase your reading speed, as in what did you do to increase it? Yeah, can
Yeah.
you tell me? Yeah.
So I think so one would be like no, like I think something that is really obvious is not speaking out aloud the words that you are reading, right? So whatever I'm reading, I read it in my mind. I think the second one would be reading by time. So keeping a timer and trying to read like let's say 20 pages. Like I had done this like before like my first attempt only. So like my reading speed was really good before in my first attempt also. I think the timer one would be the second one. I think the third one would be like reading like for example you are reading a like let's say you are reading a passage. So let's say there's an argument. You need to read that argument carefully. But if there is another example, you can just skim through that example and not read that so carefully. So I think that is another thing. So
Right.
I think this is it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
also one thing I
One
would
thing.
mention that yeah. So one thing I would want to mention that you should read eclectic passages as well from Aeon websites, as I think you might have read, and from the newspapers. So a variety of sources if you
Yeah.
can
Like
give.
you need to have
And
a diversity in the things that you are reading. So like I used to read psychology. Used to read blogs for philosophy also. I used to obviously read the newspapers on most days, not every day I would say, but on most days I used to read the newspaper. But yeah, I used to read psychology. I used to read philosophy. I used to read a romance novel also. I read one or two. So yeah, like you should have diversity in what you are reading.
okay, you can
Okay,
continue
one
with the
more thing.
section wise. Yeah,
One more thing I would like to this thing to point it out that what Vaibhav said was he actually worked on his reading speed. Okay, so one thing that like all those who are watching the video, I would let you know that reading speed matters not only in English but in all other sections, right? And
Mhm.
see, like coming to the next section, Vaibhav, like whichever you want to take.
GK, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
the most
Okay, so I
unpredictable
think
section.
for yeah, so for I think for GK, revision is the key. I think so. In my first attempt, the problem was that I did not revise enough. I started revising only around 15 or 20 days before the exam ended. So like I was referring to a lot of sources, but I was not revising those sources. So I think that is something that I changed in during my second attempt, and it really helped me. Like I did not, I got around 16 out in the GK section. I think like, and considering the difficulty, too, I think it for me at least it was a great grade, great marks. And so I think revision is more important than covering from many sources. So I used to refer to one was the compendium, monthly compendium by Drishti IAS, and second one was the compendium, one-liner compendium, and the news compendium by GK101. Like these, I was
Okay,
limited
okay.
to these two sources only.
Okay. So we can conclude when it comes to GK, revision is the key. Instead of reading multiple sources, we can keep ourselves restricted to 2 to 3 sources, and
Yeah.
we can actually like and Vaibhav, how did you make the notes? Just point down that also. Did you made notes? And if you made notes,
So
then
actually,
yeah.
because I had prepared for the first exam, like for CLAT
Hmm,
2022, I had notes on most of the topics, right?
hmm,
So, and if there was new topics that were in the news, I used to like so. Let's say I'm reading the newspaper today, and there's this article about let's say Olympics. So I used to
hmm.
okay, there's Olympics is in the news. I used to just go through, skim through some news, GK websites on the internet, and I used to make notes, point notes on that. But for most topics, I had notes prior to like I had notes prior from
Okay.
the previous attempt.
Okay. And what is the importance of giving the sectional or the topic test when it comes to GK? So do you think that are the mocks sufficient to give the GK thing, or do you need something else for the same?
So I think like yeah, like active like I don't know if you have read this, but there's this thing called active recall. So like you try to
Hmm.
so like if you read something you don't remember it, but if you try to recall it, you are able to remember it faster. So I think
Hmm.
so like I think these topic tests or the sectional tests help you to help in active recall. I used to do active recall where I just like used to read this page. Like I had this note, I used to read the page and then cover the page and try to remember what was written. So I used that mostly. But yeah, topic test and sectional test were also really helpful like towards the end of my preparation, and like they helped me analyze how much I have learned and how much is left.
Okay. And how helpful were the topic tests given by GK101? Like we tried a level test to cover in depth whatever the topic test was made on, right? So I would like to ask you, like, how were they helpful to you? Were you able to cover the topics in depth? Were you able to analyze like where did you left? Like what all angles, what all
Yeah, like I think
areas
like
you had
in
left?
most in more like in all of like I would say 99% of the topic tests that we had, like I think they covered most like I think 100% of whatever was in the issue. So let's say Indo Sri Lanka, Indo China or whatever. I think they covered most of the issues and they covered it really well. And
Yeah.
So you can move to the
And
next section,
ask
I
or
guess.
add to that?
Yeah,
hmm,
GK, as
Okay.
Baibhav said, that the topic tests and sectional tests, in addition to the mocks and the notes that you're making, are pretty much helpful because you need revision. Doesn't only mean that you, as Baibhav said, that you need to cover the page and learn that, because active recalling comes through questions, and if you make the mistakes and recall them via questions, you tend to remember it for a longer period of time. So that is what needed in CLAT, because you have very much material to learn and you need to recall that in the main D-Day. So yeah, so I think we can move to the next section, that is legal. So
hmm,
tell me. Yeah.
legal. Okay, so I think for legal, something that is really important is covering the legal theory, right? So, like most coaching teach the legal theory, most students go and read the legal theory, but then they stop revising it and they don't go back to that. Right? So, I think I used to revise all legal theory, so criminal, torts, contracts, and constitutional. I used to revise these four only every month. So, I used to keep around 2 or 3 days every month for revising the whole legal section. So I think revision is one thing, and the second one would be solving the past year questions of CLAT and ILET, and these have been because these have been repeated in the CLAT exam frequently. So I think and that also develops the skill of comprehending the situation and like those situation questions, they help in situation questions.
So I would tell the viewers that one thing that Vaibhav mentioned, the importance of previous questions, right? So I guess I gave CLAT in 2021 as well. So there were questions based on the PYQs. Just they tend to tweak the facts and just they act us directly in the examination, right? So yeah, a previous question really helped. Vaibhav has said also. So yeah, and one more thing, Vaibhav, were the legal compendiums helpful in which say the current legal news and everything stuff like that are enumerated in that. So were they helpful?
So actually, like because I was like preparing with college, I did not really used to refer to those current legal knowledge, but because and I was like I as I was in college, I used to like frequently in touch with law like for projects and stuff. So like I did not used to refer to current legal knowledge as I was short on time. But yeah, if you are taking a complete drop or you are a fresher, you can obviously.
Right.
Okay. Now, coming to the judgments and whatever, like there are recent judgments, there are websites like Live Law and Bar and Mills. Do you think that as a CLAT aspirant, people should refer them, or is it just meant for the people who are law students?
So I think like it is not mandatory that like personally I liked reading those things, right? So I like to read like a lot of things. I like to read especially. So I used to read those out of interest, like every 15 or 20 days I would just open and like read a few articles. But like I would not say it is not it. I would not say it is mandatory. Like I think that is something like you can do without. And I think if you are referring to current legal knowledge compendiums, then that is enough.
Okay.
So
Coming to the next section. Yeah, you have anything to add on?
no, you can't.
CR.
Yeah,
Okay.
CR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
CR.
Coming to the next section of critical reasoning. Yeah.
So I think a great resource for critical reasoning is there's a thing called CR Nugget by Career Launcher. Those things that course really helped me, and you can even find the recorded lectures online for free. I did that only. I read from Telegram only. So what I did was I watched the whole lecture. I think it was a series of around 30 videos, and I made proper notes. Uska. Then I used to revise those notes every week. So I think that is like revising the theory of CR is something that many aspirants do not do, and I did not do that even in like I started doing that for around 1 or 2 months before like CLAT 2023 only. So I think that really helped boost my scores. And I in this CLAT I got 24.25 in CR. So I think like that was a major factor in increasing my overall score. And another resource in CR would be official LSAT guide. That is also really helpful. They help develop your concepts. They are a little bit harder than the actual CLAT paper. But yeah, like because you have solved those, the actual CLAT paper will seem pretty easy to you.
Yeah, I'll add something to that. That is, there's a very good source by the name GMAT Club. You might have heard Vaibhav. Like I used to give these sources in the group itself. GMAT Club, I've told each and everyone, like each and every student to download the app, and free of cost you can attempt GMAT questions. They're really good.
And one thing in GMAT Lab, it
Now,
is helpful that you can set the
yeah,
difficulty level and
yeah.
which topic you want to choose. So yeah, that is a pretty much helpful site. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So coming to the next section, that is last but not the least, quantitative technique. Basically,
Okay,
the
so
math
for
section.
That might have bordered in the CLAT exam this year, I guess.
yeah, it
The
was
math
pretty
section.
So for CLAT, for the QT section, I would say you should like you should have a really strong grip on around 4 or 5 topics. That is ratio, proportion, percentage, profit loss, time and distance, and I think the pipes and systems. So I think these 4 or 5 topics, if you have a strong grip on these 4 or 5 questions, you are good. Like you don't need to learn other theory. Second, I would say one problem that I faced particularly was solving. I had a problem in like for if like initially if I used to give 15 minutes to the CLAT section, I was only able to solve 4 or 5 questions. So I think so a good skill that you need to develop in the 15 minutes is that to identify the easy questions. So if there are three QT sets, mostly one is medium, one is hard, and one is easy. So if you are able to identify that one easy and one medium section, you can easily score around a score of 8 to 10. And I think that is a skill that I learned. Like there's no specific guide to how to learn that. But yeah, if you practice enough sectional tests and enough questions, you can easily learn how to solve, how to find out those medium and the easy set. And the second thing would be what I did before the CLAT exam was around 1 or 2 weeks before the CLAT exam was, I gave all the like I took out the QT section from all the mocks that I had given, around 30 or 40 odd mocks that I had given, and I attempted that as a sectional test once again. And then I analyzed in which topic I was lagging. So let's say I gave a question, gave a sectional test, I solved all the questions or whatever, and I saw that I'm lagging in profit and loss. Then I revised the theory of profit and loss once again. So I think this is something that other aspirants can do. Like just before the exam, they can give all the sectional tests once again.
So I think to summarize what
That
Vaibhav
was a
said,
pretty,
that
yeah.
maths, if you're practicing a lot of questions, then you can identify which sets are easy, medium, and hard. And thereby you can, that will be pretty much helpful in the examination if you can choose and identify those sets. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Vaibhav, coming to the number of mocks. So how many mocks did you attempt? Do you have any idea how many mocks did you attempt overall
So
for this,
overall,
like
so
before
actually
this
I
exam?
mostly prepared for, I think, 3 months, like proper like अच्छे वाला prep for, I would say, 3 or 4 months before CLAT
Hmm.
2023. So in
Okay.
for CLAT 2023, I would say I gave around 35 to 40 mocks, and for the before like the CLAT
Hmm.
2022, I had given around 16.
Okay. So Vaibhav, how many mocks did you attempt in total? Do you have any fixed number or any idea, like how many
So
mocks
I
are
think
sufficient to get a rank of 116? Yeah.
So I think like so like first coming to the sufficiency wala question, I think like there is no exact number. Like if you give 60 marks, you will get a great rank, or if you give
Hmm.
100 marks, you will get a great rank. I think it really depends on how well you analyze the marks that you are giving, and how well you are what things you are learning from the marks that you are giving. So before CLAT 2023, I would say I gave around 35 to 40 marks. I did not stick to a single coaching.
Hmm.
I gave mocks or test mocks of 2 or 3 coachings, uh, and I think that diversity or that diversity in the number of in the type of mocks and the type of test series helped me a lot in class.
And one thing I want to ask
Okay. Okay.
as a follow-up question, that did any mock that you give uh, synchronize with the CLAT pattern? As in, was a mock entirely overlap the CLAT pattern, or what do you think on that?
No. I would not say like like this particular coaching has given the exact same pattern of question like CLAT 2023, or this one has given. No, I would not say that. Like I think like, but if you refer to test series of multiple coaching, I think that diversity and that differenceness in the whole paper will help you a lot in CLAT 2023. And like if there is any changes that are happening in CLAT 2000. Like we know that CLAT is really unpredictable. So I think if there are any sudden changes,
Yes.
those will help in CLAT.
Right. And one thing I was,
Yeah. As I always say,
yeah, bola.
hope for the best, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's what a CLAT aspirant should ideally do.
Right.
Yeah, Anmol, you can go ahead.
And one thing that Vaibhav rightly mentioned, that you should be beware of the surprises or the things that CLAT can change. And
Hmm.
secondly, you should prepare for that. You should not think that अच्छा मैंने ये prepare किया है and वो आ जाएगा. So expectation leads to disappointment, right? You shouldn't expect
Hmm.
something that अच्छा CLAT ने मतलब मैंने GK बहुत पढ़ लिया तो CLAT will give the same GK and I will just score 35 upon 35. So don't expect from CLAT, and just be, you should have a right mindset. And yeah, so that is the thing you should have,
Basically, we
not the
prepared
knowledge.
that the CLAT that I
Yeah,
basically we
exactly.
prepared that the CLAT exam that I am going to give is the hardest till now.
Yeah. So knowledge plus
Hmm.
mindset will get you through that. I think as Vaibhav will agree to it, and I also believe the same.
Hmm.
So we can move on to the next question. That how to tackle your weaker section, and the first question would be to what was your weaker section? How did you tackle it? So yeah.
So for me, my GK sections were GK and quantitative. So like I said, for GK, the mistake that I had done in my first paper was not revising enough. So I think like I would like focus on revise. So like for GK, revision is the key. Revise continuously, revise by through through active recall, revise by giving different tests, revise by giving quiz. You can ask your friend to quiz you. You can ask your parents to quiz you or whatever. So I think that is something that for GK worked very well for me. For QT, I would say, like as I said, I was not able to solve the questions in time. So I think developing that skill, like observing, like how to find an easy question. So I think for a really good key would be in QT section, the Venn diagram questions are really mostly easy. So yeah, so you like that is something that you observe and you learn from that. And if you implement that in the actual CLAT paper, it will help you a lot in the QT section.
So yeah, so I think that revision in GK and practice more questions in QT helped you to ace your weakest sections. So coming on to the last question, that how did GK101 as an institution helped you, and what were the things that you liked in that, or you can tell the limitations as well and just be an honest review on that.
So I think the thing that I liked most about the GK101 was their compendiums. Like I referred to those compendiums continuously. I like printed all of those. मेरे घर में ऐसा एक पूरा bunch पड़ा है GK101 के compendiums का. So मैं उसे continuously हमेशा उसी से ही revision करता था, उसी से और मेरे notes से ही revision करता था. I think compendium सबसे ज़्यादा best part थे. The second one would be जो topic tests and जो sectional tests थे. मैं classes live classes नहीं करता था. I used to attend like after my college ended, like towards the night, I used to watch the recording on 2x speed. I did not used to attend the live classes. But I gave all the topic tests and sectional tests as soon as they were launched, and like I gave I think there is a limitation of 3 attempts, and I gave though continuously 2 or 3 times. So I think that that repeated attempt also helped.
And how are the classes, the recorded classes helped you? Was it?
So I think the good thing about the recorded classes is that these cover the topics in detail, right? So I think that is something that CLAT requires, that you cover a topic with high detail. You cover every aspect of it. So I think the classes were really helpful, and they covered all the things. And I think in like for various topics, there were as many as 3 or 4 classes, and I think those helped a lot.
All right.
Okay. And what do you think about, like, did you receive something for like the price you paid here, and did you receive something equivalent to the price, or were you satisfied with our services?
I would say I would be like happy to pay around more than 3,000 for only the compendiums of GK101.
Okay. So to all the viewers, guys, we had taught Baibhav and all other aspirants of the Super 51 batch at the cost of 3,000. In that, we provided classes, we provided topic tests, we even provided the compendiums and the personalized mentorship. So that was something that is what we believe, that each and every student in this country should have access to affordable education. Even there were special discounts for female aspirants. So yeah.
And one thing to add on, the compendiums were not only GK compendiums. We provided GK compendiums, legal compendiums, ALET compendiums as well. And so yeah.
Do you have any questions, Anmol?
No, it's so we can wind up, I guess.
Yeah, we'll wind up in a second. Yeah. Okay. So I guess, Baibhav, you are going to enlist, right? After you're leaving.
So hopefully, I think also because the seats are also increased, so the most probably will get to enlist, and soon I'll meet you.
Yeah. Okay. So all the best for your journey, and I would tell you one thing, that is the rule of GK101. We are not here with you till CLAT. We are here with, like, we'll be there with you till your college as well. Anmol is your senior. And I have connected all the rest of the aspirants, those who have got into top NLUs, to their seniors and the super seniors. So don't worry, he'll be more than happy to help you out with your college stuff as well. Okay. So all the best for your journey, and
thank you so much.
In case you need anything, we are like your elder brothers. Okay. Yeah.